Hi everyone, welcome to Reading with Reference. My name's Katherine. I'm one of the reference librarians at the Haverford Township Free Library, and today I've got two books to tell you about that I've actually told you a little bit about before. I talked about both of these in our Sneak Peeks week back a few months ago, and I've finally gotten the chance to read them, and I was really excited to get to talk about them today. So, the first one is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This is the perfect late October book, in my opinion. It's super spooky and gothic and layered, and it just screams Halloween. I don't really even know where to start with explaining this. The book is like a Russian nesting doll of stories, one inside another, and so on. But at the start, it's the story of two teenagers, Clara and Flo. It's 1902, and they're both attending a boarding school in Rhode Island called the Brookhants School for Girls. They are also completely obsessed with a scandalous new memoir by a 19-year-old named Mary McLean, so much so that they formed their own secret society named after her writing called the Plain Bad Heroines Society. They're also deeply in love with each other, the way you only can be when you're 16, much to the dismay of their families. But then Clara and Flo are both killed in an awful Yellow Jacket incident. Over the course of the next year, 3 more people associated with the school die in equally eerie and unexplainable ways, and Brookhants has to shut down. But now, in the present day, a Hollywood movie about the curse of Brookhants is in the works. It's based on a nonfiction book written by young author Merritt Emmons, who was just 16 when it was published, and it's set to star Hollywood's hottest young ingenue, Harper Harper. Yes, that's really her name. Also signed on is former child actor and daughter of an 80s scream queen, Audrey Wells, who is desperate to prove to herself and everyone in the business that she really does have what it takes to make it as an actor. But weird things keep happening on set to Harper and Audrey, to Merritt, and to just about everyone around them. And they can't help but wonder if the curse of Brookhants might extend through history to reach them as they try to tell the story of what really happened to Clara and Flo. Layered in with all of the present-day drama and possible hauntings, we as the readers get to slowly unwrap the true story of not only Clara and Flo, but their classmates, their teachers, their principal, and a huge cast of other characters who are all more involved than they first appear. The way Emily M. Danforth writes this is so fun to read. Every page is some sort of callback or sly reference to classic Gothic novels of the past, with lots of other pop culture goodies mixed in. I listened to the audiobook of this, which I loved, but I would often find myself really freaked out while I was listening to it, especially when I was home alone or driving at night. It's atmospheric and creepy in a way that kept sneaking up on me and making me want to sleep with the lights on. So again, that is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. The second book that I want to tell you about today is Just Like You by Nick Hornby. This is the first book I've read of a sort of subgenre of fiction that I've noticed popping up in the past few years. I think of it as Brexit fiction, and I've always been intrigued by it, but I felt like I didn't know enough about British politics to really get it. But Nick Hornby is one of my favorite authors, so I knew if anyone could make it accessible and bittersweet and somehow enjoyable, it would be him, and I was right. It's also not just a novel about Brexit. In fact, that's really more of a subplot than the main event here. The story is really about 2 people living in North London who, on the surface, couldn't have less in common with each other if they tried. First, there's Lucy, who's a 42-year-old white woman, recently separated from her husband, and trying to raise her 2 young sons and decide if getting back out there and dating is really worth all the hassle, and she's mostly decided no so far. Then there's Joseph. He's a 22-year-old black man who dreams of becoming a DJ, but he's working multiple part-time jobs for now to make ends meet. He meets Lucy during his shift at the local butcher shop, and soon he starts babysitting for her boys who adore him. But then Lucy and Joseph realize that they're starting to develop feelings for one another, even as each of them have people in their lives who would probably be more suitable partners for them. And of course, as all of this is happening in their personal lives, the Brexit vote is looming, and it seems like everyone around Lucy and Joseph has a different but equally strong opinion on the matter. With so many things seeming to work against them, they both have to decide and keep deciding as new challenges pop up if a relationship is worth fighting for despite their differences. Like I said, I love Nick Hornby, and I love that he chose to write about a relationship with an age gap that wasn't a man 20 years older than his female counterpart. We see so much of that in books and elsewhere in pop culture, but no one seems terribly interested in when it's the other way around. This was really sweet and funny and charming and made me think a lot about how many barriers people put up between themselves and others just because they think that they're too different, and how much we miss out on when we do that. So that's Just Like You by Nick Hornby. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you're reading something great, and thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye.